Hello, everyone. Welcome to the session on modernization of data ecosystems to build the right foundation through a platform-centric approach. The session on data modernization is joined today by Paul Johnson. He is the CIO and COO for PIB Group. I am very, very thrilled to have him as a panelist sharing his views and his own experience of helping PIB go through a transformation journey over the years, and really thankful for his time and spending and coming online with us to share his perspective.
Okay, thank you very much, DC. So some of the changes that we're seeing is that, I'm a big believer in that the customer and data are the two main things that are stable and you need to develop upon, that the rest in the middle changes over time. And I think during the COVID experience, the data and the customer and the relationship between the two has become even more obvious. And businesses are realizing to be able to serve your customer better and more quickly and more appropriately, you need to understand what the product is you've got, what the customer is, how you service that customer, and how best you can give the best advice, especially in these particular times of stress when the customers need very quick responses, especially when you look at things like claims. But right across the board, I think the data element of it has become much, much more at the top of the pile within organisations to understand the insight of the customer and its own business. And it's all just sped up, I think.
Absolutely. So Paul, one curiosity question. What has been your experience in the time it takes for this transformation to really happen? Or at what time are you really sure that it is really adding value to the business?
Well, I think the time it takes is around the time the board and ExCo members accept the fact that data is very important. That's always been the leading element. But as soon as that is understood and accepted, it's an absolute key asset to the organisation. The time for implementation of the first phase, which is collation and modernisation of the data, actually with the right support and the right skill sets within your own team, isn't too long. It's around understanding what data you have and what data you need to deliver the business outcomes that you desire to service your customer. And in my experience, it takes probably a good year, I'd imagine, to at least get the foundation stones in place from which you then build. So I'd say a year is your foundation period. And then you can get some very quick wins from that, even for things like dashboards on how you are operating as an organisation and being able to cut that data and show the business where they really truly benefit versus where we would have thought we was going to benefit, but actually in a scenario-based planning exercise, it doesn't quite work out like that. That's a quick win in a way, because that buys in all of the business sponsors to actually, I can see something out of this, which I didn't necessarily expect, or it's enabling me to do my job much easier and more quickly than we did a year ago. After that, it depends on the journey you want to go on. So, which dynamic or dimension are you going to then approach next? So it's probably a year plus 6 months to start getting real sponsorship, and thereafter, dare I say it, the world is your oyster because you can do so much with data. It's just making sure you do it in a systematic and a sequential way so you get the most value from what you've already built.
Very well said. Thank you, Paul. The world is your oyster, the way you look at it, and of course, the time when the board starts talking about the importance of the data, that is where you really feel the importance of a data-driven transformation. Thank you so much. So, dear guest, you have heard Paul Johnson share his views and perspective on what data-led transformation can really look like. We are going to go live on 5th of November. and would request you to join us into these conversations. We will touch upon many other important aspects of what does it take for an organization to really go into a data-driven transformation through a modernization approach, through a forward-looking approach in the world where COVID is not the only thing. There are changes, rapid changes that are needed, and there are organizations who are making things happen. We wish to see you on 5th of November for this session. Thank you so much.